What is up, YouTube? I haven't done a video in a minute, and I said I would do one for the mental health situation. I would do one for what's been going on. Not that anybody particular. Sometimes I hate doing videos like this because I feel like I'm just talking to people like they give a crap. And reality is, you have your own little world going on. You have your own little problems, and you come to YouTube for entertainment. You don't come from yada yada yada. But some people might be generally curious. So, if you're not, you're not. You can stop watching. If you are, stay tuned. I will try to make this short and sweet as best I can. So, if you did not know, I have done a lot of stuff with motorsports and stuff like that. Not as much as I'd like to be at my age. I had a whole thing planned out, and again, this mental health thing ties into that. I haven't been able to do what I love because I always have these mental blocks. I always have just that. There's not enough drive, I guess, to pull the trigger, so to speak, or money, or necessarily even support. Because a lot of times with these race car drivers, and anybody in the hobby, they usually have some sort of support. Not all the time. There's a few guys out there, I'm sure, that, oh, I don't have it. It's just me, man. I just go and I do it. Great. More power to you. That's awesome. But some people, they need that support. They need that little support system. I can think of a few people off the top of my head that race Genesee County, that race anywhere in Western New York, and they have some sort of support system. They did not start by themselves. They didn't, no. Look at that sun, dude. That sun's awesome. But, getting back on task here, my mental health, or anyone's mental health, if you have mental health issues, let me know. I'll talk to you about mental health. Has gone plummeted, I used to, and there's just some examples even on the channel. So, if you look back, 2017 I did my first demo. 2018 I did my second, and my second demo in 2018 as well as my first enduro. And in 2019, for some reason, I built that awesome Toyota Camry with the header. I moved the wiring. I did a lot of cool work with that car. The car almost, when Dan drove it for me, because my anxiety, I had a panic attack. My first panic attack ever. Never had a panic attack before that. He drove it for me that day. I just wanted to get it, just drive it, get it out of here. And that car came in like third, fourth. I did really well. It's my best build that I did, And it wasn't even necessarily Dan's driving. No offense, Dan. Dan's a great driver. Dan has driven his ass off. He's driven cars that are rotted to hell, and he's pull off wins with them. Like he's a good driver. That particular show wasn't his best performance, and that could also be my tires too, because I know the first thing he saw when he got here was how fucked up my tires were. And he was like, what's going on with this? And they were actually trying to swap them out, and they didn't fit. I'm like, it's the best I could do, 17-year-old kid on a budget, whatever. I'm not going out and buying, $80 tires per side. No, I'm not doing it. So, that was my first panic attack. I gave up demolition derby. Gave that whole lifestyle up. It left a bad taste in my mouth, and I just could not see myself. And I don't know what caused the panic attack. A lot of people have speculated. Like, I've had people message me that day that speculated what caused it, and most of them were saying that you get a lot of adrenaline when that, especially like before the demo, as well as it was it was like a 110-degree day, and you get a lot of adrenaline, and if your body can't handle it, and I've noticed that where back in 2017 I wasn't really that freaked out. 2018 I was, because of the gasoline situation and the sketchy ass tank I had in the back of the car, and I was kind of freaked out. I still did it, and once they said 1, 2, 3 go, though, my nerves didn't calm, but I was in such a zone of just driving that I didn't really pay attention. But then once the derby ended for me, once I turned the car off, because I had to turn it off because the throttle got stuck and there was no brakes, and I was like, just turn it off. Turned it off, and I felt better. I felt like, okay, weight's off my chest. I did this demo. The car's pretty worse off. We're done. I had an adrenaline rush though, and I liked it. And I was like, I'm ready for next year, get a better car. And I ended up doing that, but then I ended up having the panic attack. That was 2019. From that point on, I didn't do much. Sat around, and that was it. Sat around, started tinkering with the lawnmowers a little bit. Didn't really compete in anything. And I don't know why. I really don't. I think maybe because the anxiety did get the best of me, and I was like, maybe that's not what I want in this life. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And then I started hooking up with, or I already hooked up with Rich before, but I hooked up with some of the racing guys, and I started doing the mini stock stuff. And I never raced a mini stock, but then I was like getting really interested in doing that, maybe racing. But then I'm like, I don't have any support. I don't have a dad. No offense to any of my parents, and this isn't me making bullshit excuses. I'm weak enough where I need that support. And I don't want to call it weakness, because I know guys that also need that support, and they're not weak. But I need that guy. I need a crew chief. I need somebody to really be number two, so to speak. I didn't have it. I didn't have the support. I needed that guy that had the same drive and interest as me. I couldn't just do it by myself. I didn't know anything about vehicles, nothing about cars. If the motor blew, I wouldn't even know how to pull it out. I wouldn't know how to pull it out of the engine bay. I wouldn't know how to repair it. I wouldn't know nothing. You know what I mean? So it just, I've never driven really a car. We'll get to that too. So I ended up just doing the lawnmowers, and I was happy with it. It was cool. And then I started to, we had Jackson. I started working at the school. Life was great. No anxiety at all, really. Nothing really crazy. Pretty normal life. I had my POTS, my POTS dysautonomia stuff going on. But I was getting better. It was under control after the whole COVID situation. And ended up essentially, keep walking here, essentially going to runnings. And I remember as a kid in Greece, back in 2013, we used to ride mini bikes all over the place. We used to ride them all the way down to Ridge Road, to Grease Ridge Mall. We rode them up to Maiden Lane by Grease Hots. Loved it. It was awesome, man. Just kids having fun with mini bikes, 2-cycle scooters, you name it. Kink Bike Co., Santa Cruz lawn boards, just a vibe, man. It was an awesome time to live, be alive, and the freedom, and just everything seemed different, The air seemed different. Life was just different. And I was like, all right. I never really was able to own a mini bike because I never had the money. Starting to work, and runnings, unfortunately, was selling them. Well, actually, fortunately, I should say fortunately, was selling them. And they ended up selling them at a discount because Coleman's filed for Chapter 11. And I'm like, oh, okay. $200. Actually, it was $300. $300 or $400? I think it was $400 for my Coleman CT200U. Bought it, rode it, loved it, fell in love. I was like, man, I wish there was a place to ride. I had nowhere to ride. Up and down the street, whatever. I want a place to ride, man. I want a place to really get at it. And I was like, all right. Started looking around, and found a club, and went to that club. Loved it, dude. It gave me the exact same spark and passion as Demolition Derbies did. No joke. The creativity, the thrill of riding, everything. Loved it. It was fairly affordable considering. Mint. Got Haley one. Hers was $200, $200 or $300, because they were really wanting to get rid of those Colemans. So I got hers at a discount. Me and her started riding up and down the road together. Sweet. Bought my dad a bike. Bought my mom. Bought my stepdad a bike, just so we could all ride together as a family unit. It was awesome. I got so confident with riding these bikes, and I remember that passion of wanting to be involved in something. I wanted to race. I wanted to really, I don't know, man. I don't know why I want to race so much. I like the competitiveness of it, I think, and I like the community part of it, and just to be a part of something. I think soccer, back when I played soccer, it was like that too. But I like small engines. That's my thing. Me and my dad, Mostly my father has been doing small engines. Even when Craigslist was big back in 2010, we just loved it. We were selling them, flipping them, working on them, and that's where I got my passion for small engines. Plus, just the simplicity of them. They're sweet, man. Love them. But with that being said, I looked around for some racing stuff, and I found some cool stuff, dude. Like mini bike malarkey, G100 here in New York State. There was races, man. There was races in the Tall Pines, and it was places where you could be competitive. And I built a bike. You guys saw it, that orange Megamoto bike. Built it for racing. Actually, I mainly built that actually for mini bike malarkey, but which is a whole race series that they were going to do, but Scott couldn't because he had some family matters to do, which is awesome. It's good family matters, if you know what I mean. So it was good stuff. So, but they did that, and by the time I had the bike finished though, 2024 of August, I was traveling, doing my thing, and I had another panic attack that came out of nowhere. So my medication just totally stopped working. Yada yada yada. Put me on some new meds. New meds didn't work. They actually made my POTS come back drastically. It was a whole clusterfuck. The whole thing was a clusterfuck, and it still is. I don't have the stamina I have. I lost 40 pounds in a year. Can't be out in the sun. I get winded, and my heart rate goes through the thing really easily. I'm just not in any physical shape that any 24-year-old I think should be in, and I don't know how to fix it. Doctors don't know how to fix it. They don't give me any suggestions. Your blood work's normal. See ya. Get out of here. I'm like, all right. So I can't go anywhere past 20 minutes away, and if there's a lot of people, it makes me really uncomfortable. Fast heart rate. I feel like I'm gonna faint. I feel like my heart stops or slows down, and I get this weird chest heaviness in my it's almost like a roller coaster dropping. Really weird stuff. With that being said, we're at a point now where I'm not sure where to go. I don't know what I don't know where we're gonna go with this. I don't know if we're gonna go, because I have a lot of the thing about mental health, in my opinion, is it's very trapping. It's very restrictive. And you probably agree with me. If you don't, you don't. But in your opinion, and I like to see it in the comments, how do you feel mental health is restrictive? In my opinion, at least with the agoraphobia aspect of it, it's restricted because no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you feel trapped. I'm trapped at home because I can't go out and do what I want. I go do what I want, and I'm freaking out because I'm not at home in my safe area. It's a really nasty, nasty circle, really bad, and it's really unfortunate. And for me, it's even worse because a lot of the stuff that I want to do involves leaving home. It's not like I'm an introverted person, and I think that's kind of a messed up thing too, because before this I was. The past anxiety and depression issues I had, and before I met Haley, I really didn't care. I mean, I like going to the racetrack, but other than that, I didn't really want to go out of state. I didn't really want to go miles and miles away. I didn't want to do any of that shit. And now that I got a taste of it, now I got a little bit of it, I got 4 years of freedom. Now I don't want to give it up. Now I want it. So it's like, that's kind of where I'm at with this. And I don't know where the channel's going to go. I kind of thought about maybe just right now focusing on myself, focusing on that stuff. But as well, I'm doing some stuff with the channel, considering it doesn't really take anything to leave. It doesn't take any effort to really do a YouTube channel. If you're just having fun with it, I'm not looking to make money, obviously. This is shot on a fucking phone. Who gives a shit? But if you feel like you're trapped, or you feel like, all that stuff, I'm with you. Exactly. I don't know how to fix it. This isn't a video on how to fix it. I'm not going to tell you the bullshit of one day at a time, because if you keep doing one day at a time and you just that's what I'm going through right now, is one day at a time. I'm just going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home, and I'm too afraid to try anything. Well, yeah, you're going to be stuck where you are. And eventually you're going to keep doing that, and eventually you're just going to hit bottom again, to the point where you can't work, or you can't, that's where I'm heading. I'm heading to the point now where my body is deteriorating. I'm getting over COVID again, and I'll be honest, it's been 2 weeks and I feel like shit still, like really bad. And you're gonna get to a point where your body's gonna tell you you're gonna have to fix this. And you're gonna fix it now. So it's gonna force you. Your body will force you to figure it out. Whether it's you're done with working because you physically can't do it, or you pass out and they take you to a hospital and the hospital tells you have a problem and you need to get it fixed. Even though I keep going to doctors and they don't say I have a problem, but other than mental stuff. But yeah. So that's my mental health issue. Another little issue is something called ADD, and I'm not going to get on a big rant about this, but just I have a lot of ideas, a lot of passions, and sometimes I don't know if it's, like I told you guys before, the aesthetic of it, or if it's really a passion. Right now, if I didn't have the anxiety, didn't have anything, I was totally normal, we were where we need to be, realistically, I honestly feel like I'd still be just messing around with these mini bikes. And evolving and growing on that. And what I mean by that is, yeah, I got kicked out of 2 clubs. Okay. I would have traveled to Tall Pines myself and rode. Or I would have just gone and just stopped buying mini bikes, went out, bought a pit bike, and just started racing in Springville, New York. It's Susie's compound, or whatever it is. I raced with them, with pit bikes, and that would give me my racing thing. Or I would have just traveled around to the mini bike association in PA. I would have invested with it. Or I would have, what I'm kind of trying to do right now is wait for Batavia Speedway to open and go there and check that out. Go check out Batavia Speedway, because they have the Medina Crusaders, right? That's flat track TT, and they have Batavia's gonna be opening, another flat track. They're doing karts, stuff like that. I don't know what it is about karts. I want to try it, but in the same sense, I don't know. It doesn't look interesting, but then it does look interesting. I don't know. That's a sign that it's probably not for me. But these bikes, man, when I was racing the mini bikes, just racing that Mega Moto stock, and you're doing the circle flat track stuff with that, and you started, when you got that line, and you got that, like, you know exactly where you needed to go, and the bike felt fast, and you're making some passes, I liked that feeling. So I thought, all right, wait for Batavia to open, see what classes they have to offer, because Batavia is 28 minutes for me, not even, and I'd like to do some maybe get into that flat track. But I think step way back, because that's a long ways away, and I know that, and I think that's why I'm so frustrated, because it's like, if you were normal, that wouldn't be so long away. You could just go do it. Go save the money up. Go buy an XR100 or a CRF 125. Do the Mad Dog class, which is all I really want to do, because I want to see what they got. But realistically, I mean, I'm a small engine guy. I like small displacement motors on bikes, or I like small bikes with big displacement. But the small mini size for me is kind of my thing. I dig it. I've been on bigger bikes. I don't feel like I have as much control. I don't feel like I'm having as much fun. So I'm like, I don't like mini bikes. Small bikes are my thing. So I've always wanted to fuck around with something with 4 wheels, and nothing's caught my eye. And I think the reason why, other than RC, is because I don't feel like I have control with 4 wheels. Hell, I don't even drive a car. I don't drive a car. Haley takes me wherever I need to go. Haley, I need to go here. Okay. Haley, I need to go here. Okay. I just don't. I'm that person where you say, if you don't know how to drive, get off the road. That's me. I just don't. Every time I get on a car, I get weird vision, and I don't know. I'm like SpongeBob. I just can't drive a fucking car. I just can't. I mean, I'm sure if I practice at it hard enough, I'd get it. Like the mini bike example. The mini bike is a perfect example. When I first got that, I crashed a few times. But once I started driving, I'm decent at it now, like fairly confident with it. So if I did the same thing with automobiles, maybe. Something that kind of goes into automobiles too is I'm starting to kind of like motorcycles, and I kind of wanted to get into that aspect, but I'm not going to draw on with that. But four wheels, I've always wanted to race something, karts, but then I'm like in and out of karts, so it's like, okay, probably not that. I can't drive anything micro sprint wise. I can't drive, I don't know, I've always liked the idea of a mini stock, but it's just like, again, no. Drag racing I like, and I finally got the reason why people like drag racing. For me, drag racing was funny because I always thought it was stupid. You're driving in a straight line as fast as you can. For what? For what? To prove that you're better than the other dude? And again, I guess you could say the same thing about oval racing, but there's technique to it. There's so much to it. But I get it, because what got me to understand it was mini bike drag racing. I finally understood. For me, what tickles my fancy about drag racing is the ability to take your motor, do whatever the fuck you want with it, have full creative power over it, put it back in your vehicle, and prove to everybody that you made the fastest rig here, and that's it. That's what tickles my fancy about drag racing. And there is technique to it. I don't want people to be like, well, no, there is technique to it, because in a rear-wheel drive car, when you're launching, or even a front-wheel drive car, you still got to drive the fuck out of the car. I mean, to go straight, and get down the track in 6 or 7 seconds in a vehicle, a 8th mile or whatever, that's quick, and the car's going to go one way or the other. It isn't just going to go bone straight. I mean, it seems like they do, but if you look at those videos, man, they're really driving those cars. So that's my little rant. I don't know if it really made any sense, but I guess just hang in there, and the channel is going to be whatever the channel is going to be right now. It's kind of going to be like a variety situation. I hope my life can turn around and see what happens with it, but I don't know. I don't. But I think I guess a quick summary is we're going to focus on myself, try to fix myself, because I'm not going to get anything done unless I do that. And then from there, we're just going to go on to the next chapter, man. I think mini bikes are coming to a close because, again, like I said, if this didn't happen to me, I think I'd still be involved in them. But I got no club. I don't foresee myself starting a club. I like mini bike drag racing. I love where that's going, dude. It's such a great community, and I think it's growing great. It's just, there's nothing in New York. There's nothing here. There's nothing. No tracks do it around here. Lancaster doesn't do it. Empire doesn't do it. Brockport said that they kind of mess around with it. Nothing though. It's not organized. There's no like small block destroyer classes or pull start classes or nothing. It's kind of, I think Brockport's kind of a run with your brung situation, which is fine. But I think there's like 4 or 2 guys that are really there. It's not anything worth. It's not worth going out and buying a $2,500 race bike, and it's just not. So that's out, because for me to do that, I have to travel to PA, and honestly, I don't see myself doing that in the next 5 years. To be honest, I just don't. My little brain can't comprehend traveling more than a half an hour at the moment. So that's just where I am at. So that's out. So like I said, YouTube and messing with some of the projects I got from mini bikes, and then just maybe getting back into the RC thing. I have a build in mind for RC, and I'm gonna try to do that, film it. It kind of like I said, tickles my fancy. Certain things, I'm very picky. Certain things don't, and this one does. So, and it's bringing back an old RC car from 2016, if you guys know what I'm talking about. But it's just where I am, and once I get better, then I can focus on what's next. Whether it's the mini bikes, whether it's Batavia I was talking about, whether it's Medina, whether it's anything like that, whether it's the garden tractors. I still got those, dude. It's I don't know right now, and I have so many like, oh yeah, let's do this, oh yeah, let's do this, oh yeah, let's do this. That just tells me that I'm not mentally A, there, and B, I don't know what I truly want. And I know that feeling of what passion's supposed to feel like, what love's supposed to feel like, because I felt it with the Demolition Derbies, and I felt it with the Western New York Mini Bike Club. And until I get that feeling, I just can't. I can't commit to the idea. So, and I'll be honest, I had the one racing go-kart. I said I was going to go race Genesee Speedway. I had a Predator go-kart, and I didn't follow through with that dream because I felt like I was too ignorant or dumb, and I didn't have the support. I didn't have that guy there coaching me along. Okay, you need to do this. Okay, we're going to go to the track. You're going to run a time. I'm going to time you. I'm going to tell you what you need to work on. Or, okay, I'm going to help you fix this. Or I'm going to show you how to fix this. I just didn't have the support. So I would get to the track. I already know I would get to the track. I'd run my time. I'd look like an idiot. And then I'd pack up and go home. So, or I'd run my time. I'd look like an idiot. I'd keep looking like an idiot. And then maybe eventually somebody would be like, okay, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you got to do. So there was things though, even putting that cart together, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to hook up throttle cables. I didn't have the mechanical knowledge either. That's another reason why I'm thinking the RC is great, because I know everything. I know how to do most of it, and it gets me out of the house, and it gets me back in a competitive area, so to speak. So I'm gonna end this video. We'll see where things go, and stay tuned, I guess.